The Mandalorian and Grogu will be the next Star Wars movie to hit theaters, the first since The Rise of Skywalker, which will mark 7 years between Star Wars movies. We're very excited for May. We're very excited for Favreau to deliver the next chapter in the story of Mando and Grogu. But there's a Star Wars movie filming right now, and it's called Starfighter, and we're going to get to what was just revealed in a moment. So welcome, everybody, to the Resistance broadcast. I'm John. So glad to have you. It's fall is definitely happening at my house. Leaves are all over my lawn. Lacey, fall is in the air. Star Wars is in the air. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited for fall and as everybody knows, holidays that are around the corner. I'm not excited that as things are getting colder or evenings are getting colder, that means all the work that I've put in for the past few months are going to die. Um, that's not cool. But I am excited for new Star Wars. Lego comes out tomorrow. Rebuilt the Galaxy. Can't wait to watch it. And then Visions is coming out sometime soon too. So there is new Star Wars, even though they're not movies, which we love. Just the idea that we're gonna get to watch something is cool. And I'm super pumped as well, which we'll get into, to talk about any type of crumbs we're getting from the sets and
Yeah,
productions.
absolutely. Yeah. So Sean Levy was like, you know what? This has been a dream project of mine, and it appears he's going to have fun with it. And sort of following the footsteps of what JJ did early on with The Force Awakens, he's sharing some nuggets here and there. And we have our second set photo. You'll remember the first one, which was black and white when they officially announced they were filming. Again, it was Ryan Gosling and the boy. And now here they are again, but now it is Waterworld time in Star Wars as we have Ryan Gosling looking like he got the crap beat out of him, and they're maybe in the middle of an ocean somewhere. But things are looking like a little scrappy and rough and old school. I like this image. So if you're watching on YouTube, you see that we have the image up here. Lacey, what are your thoughts on this first filming sort of shot of Starfighter?
So I'm excited to not see sand. That's the first a bonus for me. I liked the first image because it was like super artsy and it was cool with the shadows and they had the land speeder, which is obviously recognizable as a Star Wars thing. This one's a little trickier. It doesn't look like something obvious, although those handlebars on that they have on these like vehicles, it looks like are very Star Warsy. Do you see the way that it has like the lines on it?
Yes.
It looks
Yep.
like the Millennium Falcon, like levers and stuff that you see
Right.
in the vehicles. Yeah, I didn't even notice he had a big bruise until you just said that. Yeah, he has a big bruise on his face. So is he like a smuggler or someone that's going to get, kind of the underdog type figure of like, oh, he's lying his way through the universe and he's getting beat up while he doesn't? Does he owe someone money? Is he Han Solo? Like, where are we going with this? But man, are his guns big. Look at how big his arms are.
That's your focus?
I
So
mean,
you
how can
don't
you
know
not?
you don't notice the giant bruise on the side of his face, but you notice the arms. Okay.
I mean, I'm
All
just
right.
being true to myself. What
Yeah.
can I say?
Uh no, that's fine. So and the name of his co-host is of course Flynn Gray, and they're going to go on an adventure together. We're not exactly sure of many more details, but they're currently filming in the Mediterranean Sea off Italy. So it's going to be one of those Star Wars movies that has real locations and really does its best to try to get us lost in a galaxy far, far away. And I agree with you. I like the freshness of seeing a vast ocean in front of us here. It's like Camino with nice weather. So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope Sean Levy keeps this up because, like you hinted at, or not hinted at, but brought up earlier with J.J. Abrams, he was really like, hey guys, I started a Twitter account to give you live updates. And he did just the beginning and then the
Yeah.
end. It was like, hey guys, here are your updates. So
Mm-hmm.
already we've gotten 2 in the past few weeks, which is exciting from Sean. I also hope that we do get some type of photography book. I've been dying for the one from Ryan Johnson, and I know it was listed on Amazon a while ago as like, "Hey, photography from The Last Jedi." I love this behind the scenes like set stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
it would be so cool to see this for this film. But yeah, it looks like they're in some type of speeders or like water bikes or something like that with the handlebars.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're doing a lot of racing in this movie, from the land speeders to this. A lot of chase scenes, action scenes, which
Yeah,
I
it looks
love.
like that's a ramp or something there with like rivets in it. We're not really
Mhm.
sure if that's part of one of their crafts or something like that. So there's not a lot to go by here, but they do look cool. I'm like looking at his pants, and it almost looks like, and I haven't
His
even seen
pants
it,
are
but it almost
cool.
looks like it's out of Tron or something.
Very
Um,
leather, yeah.
yeah. So, and the kid has like almost like a Han Solo type of outfit. He's got the 3/4 sleeve cream colored
Mhm.
shirt with the blue pants. Like, who does this kid think he is? So, and he almost
But they
got
both
the
have the
same.
long hair.
Yeah, and he's got the same gloves almost that Han used when he was doing work in the Falcon. So, very interesting there. It looks like there might be a blaster somewhere, maybe not, but they have like carabiners and stuff. These guys are doing some Ethan Hunt stuff. So
Yeah, ready to go.
it's interesting to say the least. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for this. Now, I want to ask you, Gillerin, uh, the next photo that Sean Levy posts, do you think it will be of a Star Warsy thing and without a character in it? Or if you think it will involve a character, who's going to be in the next? Just we're blind guessing, but who's going to be the next one?
I think Sean Levy's next photo is gonna be a creature or a droid.
I was leaning that way too. And I'll say if they don't, Matt Smith. He's going to give us a little of the villainous
You
side of things.
think?
I think that'd be cool.
I mean, Sean Levy's not someone to hide stuff. He was given a lot of updates during Deadpool too. So I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of like, what mood is Sean Levy in, you know?
And you want to get buzz going. I understand that Lucasfilm is old school and that they love preserving the theatrical experience and the surprise. And I appreciate
Mm.
that so much. Like when I try to watch Star Wars with my son, I was trying to like protect all those secrets and stuff so he could experience them firsthand. So I get all that. But also, you want to create buzz for this stuff. And Matt Smith is sort of in the zeitgeist of social media. People talk about him with Doctor Who and Game of Thrones and all that stuff. If you get him in there with some really cool looking outfit, the same way when Christopher Nolan teased Tom Hardy's Bane with just a shot from like his back, you get buzz going with that. And I think that would really help Star Wars in the modern era of social media. So we'll see.
I think that would be really cool. I'm always a sucker for a good tease. I know that with the Kylo thing, where even you just saw the back and he lit up the lightsaber with the cross guard. That was such a big
Yes.
deal. People lost their
Yeah.
minds. And
Right.
now obviously it spurred a lot of jokes and after the fact, but when it happened, people were like, "Oh my god, it's Luke Skywalker. He's a bad guy
Yeah.
now," and like all this stuff.
Yeah. Who is that? What is that? Yeah.
Speaking of not
Um,
ruining Star Wars for our children, I've been trying very hard to like let Daisy kind of find it on her own and not push it on her. And she's probably connected more with Grogu and like the sequel trilogy just because that's kind of in her face right now and the most recent like books and stuff that have come out have been about that. Did I tell you that it's been spoiled for her already? And it wasn't due to
wh-
me. Someone else spoiled it for her.
spoiled what?
S- Darth Vader for her.
What?
Yeah, I'm like really
It
upset
wasn't
about it.
me.
No, I have a bunch of posters hanging in my den in my TV room. And there's one for The Force Awakens by Gabs is the guy's name. Stunning posters. I have a Force Awakens one, a regular Star Wars one, and then an Indiana Jones one. And I also have Lord of the Rings, but it's not up. But anyway, so the one for Force Awakens is like my favorite poster ever. It has Kylo Ren in it. It says every generation has a new story or has its own story or something like that. But it has Kylo Ren in the top like this, and then it has Rey. And I was in there one day with her to go sit on the couch and watch TV, and she goes, "Oh, there's Kylo Ren." I was like, "Yep." She goes, "Did you know that Darth Vader's his grandpa?" And I
Oh
went,
shoot.
I said, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, Darth Vader's his grandpa." And I was
Oh.
like, "Yeah, I don't know who told her. Someone told her. My parents, Matt, someone did." And I was just like, "No."
So you know that happened to me too, right? Did I tell you about that with Johnny?
No.
So we're watching the original trilogy and we get to Empire and I take out my phone like every idiot dad does because they want to
Of
post, oh,
course,
the
you wanna have that
reaction.
moment.
Yeah. So and he sees it and he's still like taken aback by the whole moment.
Mhm.
But I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, oh, I knew that. I'm like, what do you mean you knew that? And he's like, yeah, I had that book like Dad and Me. It's like one of those kids book with like Luke
Luke
and Darth
and his
Vader.
dad. Yeah.
That
Daisy has that book.
I detest whoever authorized that book because that ruined it for my son. How dare you?
I don't know who authorized telling her that, oh well, Darth Vader's his grandfather. I think Matt did, because Matt goes in there sometimes with her and will like fold laundry while listening to a
Ooh.
record. Like he'll put on Star Wars music and stuff. And I think he was trying to be like, "Did you know, Daisy?" And I'm like, "How dare you take
Hope he
this
likes the
moment from me?"
couch. Yikes.
Oh, it is
Man.
what it is. I'm sure she'll still be surprised, because she did say this, I want to say like a year and a half ago. So I'm hoping it like left her 2-year-old brain. Like it's not there anymore. But knowing her, it's locked in. She's locked.
It's locked. All right.
Yeah.
Very, very cool nonetheless that she's taking an interest. But we have a lot of show. Before we do that, a quick thanks to everybody who listens or watches TRB. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, hello. And if you're listening, Apple, Spotify, wherever, we appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribed to the show. The podcast is free. Subscribing to the channel is free. And if you don't mind, if it has a rating system like Apple does or Spotify, if you can toss us maybe 5 stars, you're loving TRB, that goes a long way. And you can leave a review as well. We appreciate that. And then don't forget, beyond Star Wars, we have Nerdy and Nice, which covers all the other things in movies, TV, and pop culture that we do under the TRB banner, and that is on its own podcast feed. Just look up Nerdy and Nice, same podcast apps, and the video version is on our channel. That comes out every Monday. So you got TRB usually on Thursdays, and TRB Live will be coming back, no doubt about it. But Thursdays for TRB, Resistance broadcast, and Mondays for Nerdy and Nice. But now we got Will of the Force later. We got your Resistance transmissions. I don't want to spoil the topic for Gillerin, though I still suspect that you peak.
I do
Uh,
not.
but now we have 2 more news stories to get into in the Resistance Report.
It's the Resistance.
The award season for TV arrives with the Emmys, and Andor wins big. Andor has won 5 Emmys, including Best Writing for a Drama Series by Dan Gilroy. And he delivered a short but sweet speech. I believe a lot of the speeches were designed to be short at the Emmys because of the shtick they were doing
I
with Nate
hated that, by the
Bargatze.
way.
Yeah, I didn't really like it either, but he did say, and I'll just read the quote. Obviously, we have friends everywhere, and the crowd gave an applause. You could tell who knew what that meant. Probably, maybe a lot of the Andor folks that were there on behalf of their project. But then he also thanked the fans who quote did more than watch the show. They listened, they cared, and they made a story about ordinary people fighting impossible odds possible. I thought that was really well put. I'm really happy to see that Andor won a big award like that. Wasn't as surprised about some of the others, but Lacey, 5 Emmys for Andor. Any of them that stood out to you, or any that maybe surprised you, and any that they maybe didn't win that you were upset or disappointed about?
I'm surprised that for it winning Best Writing, not one of the actors won. And I can't believe some of the actors weren't even nominated, let alone won. Like the fact that Diego wasn't nominated, Genevieve O'Reilly wasn't nominated, is just a little wild to me. But we'll go into the positive and not the negative. I'm not surprised that it won these things, because it 100% deserved it, which was costumes, writing, production design, editing, special effects, and sound editing. Because all those things, it was a perfect example of like what a drama series should be, and all these pieces played a part into why it was so epic and so amazing. And I tell people all the time, it's good not just because it's Star Wars, it's just very good television.
Yeah.
And the costumes obviously make it Star Wars, but they were also just stunning fashion pieces done by Michael Wilkinson. And yeah, the sound design and the editing and stuff like that from Star Wars is what you'd expect. But I would say probably the shining jewel, which is what you would expect from this list, is the writing part, because I think it made such a statement, this series, and it really caught me off guard because I went into season 2 being like, yeah, season 1 was good, but I wasn't the biggest fan, and season 2 just killed it. Like, I loved every episode of season 2. I was sucked in immediately because of the writing, and it had such poignant ways to reflect the mirror back on us on like things that we're experiencing right now in the world, that it came out honestly at the perfect time. And I
Yeah.
just loved how Dan Gilroy really did a nice job, not only thanking the fans, which we appreciate it because I feel like we really hold the torch for these projects and tell everybody they should be watching it, but also because he did thank his brother, Tony, and then also thanked Bob Iger for sticking up for them and letting them make the project they wanted to make. I
Yeah.
think sometimes they don't get the support they need from the studios to make amazing television, especially something like this, which can maybe ruffle a few feathers on what they're saying. But I'm happy that they made it. And I'm happy that they said things like genocide in the series. I think they needed strong language and eloquent ways of telling people how the world is, because we're there. And I think that for once, I felt like I was watching real life and not just Star Wars, which was an interesting thing because oftentimes I watch it to escape, but I think this also really needed to happen.
Yeah, well put. I agree. And the fact that, Star Wars has been around for almost 50 years, and this was the first time it's won a major award for writing. So that is a finally a check of the box there. Now, Star Wars, not known for its writing. People don't think of Star Wars when they think of like best screenplays and stuff like that. So of course, it's
It's one for
not
editing
something.
and sound and music, right? Those are the things it's one for. Yeah.
Yeah, and special effects, of course, and all that. Now with the outstanding sound editing for this one, like shout out to Skywalker Sound. We got a chance to visit them when we went to Skywalker Ranch, so that
Amazing.
team pulls in the Emmy there, which I'm sure will maybe be displayed at some point throughout the Skywalker Ranch. But yeah, the visual effects is like one of those where you're like, Star Wars didn't win? Who won? I'll kill them. But it's like they win that, and you're like, okay, there we go, we got that one. And Neil Scanlon with the creatures that they elevated the level of creatures in Andor season 2 than they had in season 1, and you could tell that they put a lot of work into that. So I think that helped boost them there. And also, it was just shot like a movie, like it was just like really big and
With
huge, and you
production
could
design, all the
it
sets were just gigantic.
it paid off completely because The Acolyte was also nominated for a couple of things, but I don't know that it was nominated for special
I don't
effects. It
know.
was not. It was not.
Yeah.
So there you go. And then fancy sci-fi costumes, they're gonna nail that. The costumes were unbelievable. I mean, I when I was at Lucasfilm, I wanted to try on Luthen's robe and wear it, but they're like, yeah, maybe no.
Maybe no.
Um, and then
Step
production
back,
design,
please.
just yeah, exactly. Just a great job all around. I'm happy for Star Wars and seeing Star Wars win awards like that, because even though Star Wars is this giant IP and Disney owns it, it'll always sort of have that. It's like other more prestigious artistic ventures will thumb their nose at it. It's always going to have this sort of punk rock feel to it from the people who make it,
Mhm.
which I love. So seeing it win is really cool in that regard. And the writing one is probably surprised a lot of people. So I'm glad that they were recognized for that, because it was unbelievable. Season 2 of Andor, amazing.
It's
Um,
perfect. I wouldn't change a thing about it, honestly.
yeah, agreed. Now we go on to our next story, which is the reportedly, now this is on IMDb. I don't know that this has been confirmed yet, so we're just making sure you understand that. The episodic assignments of the directors for Ahsoka season 2. Now the series is probably wrapping up filming soon. If they started in April, these shows in the Favreau space usually film for about 6 months. So maybe next month we get that sort of we have wrapped thing and they reveal maybe another little tidbit. But Lacey, according to this, we have Jennifer Getzinger, who's going to be directing episodes 2 and 3. Bryce Dallas Howard, fan favorite, doing the meat 4 and 5. And then you have Anders Engstrom doing 6 and 7. 1 and 8 unidentified, but Dave Filoni is said to be one of the directors, so we imagine 1 and 8, right? For him?
I would assume he's probably going to do the premiere and the finale.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make the most sense to me, but I don't, obviously. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then the cinematographers were revealed, and people may be familiar with them. I know I'm not super well versed in the names of cinematographers, but we have Eric Steelberg, who did 500 Days of Summer, Ghostbusters Afterlife. We have Stephen Pearson, who did Wednesday and Black Mirror, unless that's Stefan, but I think it's Stephen. And Barry Baz Idowine, who did American Sniper and True Detective, to tackle the 8 episodes of Ahsoka season 2. So take with that what you will. If you're a cinematography nerd, Lacey loves video photography. But what are your thoughts on all this? I just went over a lot, Lacey, between the directors and the cinematographers. What are you gleaning from this? And do you have any thoughts?
Well, Jennifer Getzinger did Mad Men, The Penguin, and she's doing Ahsoka. So that's kind of crazy. Also, she was born in New Haven, Connecticut. What up, Connecticut?
Woo!
Woo!
Pizza capital of the U.S., baby!
If you ever interview her, you have to say that. You have to be like, look, as a pizza fan.
Why don't we, maybe we can try to get pizza with her. Have her
Maybe.
visit home. We'll get some pizza.
Come on, Jennifer. Come on back.
Come on, let's get a slice.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, like you said, to talk about this stuff because it's obviously the projects that they've worked on, and we can sit here and go through every single thing that these people have done.
Oh, yeah.
But I overall thoroughly enjoy the model that they've gone with, where you get different directors for different episodes. I'm happy that they're doing the pairing of certain episodes with one director so that you don't lose the look and feel between directors, especially if 2 pieces of the story go really well together, or 3 pieces, or whatever the arc is. Because as you know, that's one of our biggest, probably, well, mine at least, I don't want to speak for you, John, my biggest kind of issues with the sequel trilogy is that it just switched hands too much, that there are moments that you're like, this doesn't match up with this. Whereas if you let directors and cinematographers tell the story that they want to tell over a course of an arc, they each get their own aesthetic while also being a bigger piece of the series. But yeah, I really love this, and I really like that people have been geeking out a little bit more about directors and cinematographers, because they do impact the story so much, and how things are shot and blocking and what they get out of actors and the story itself. So I'm glad we're not just getting 2 seasons of a Dave Filoni show that's written and produced and directed by Dave Filoni. Like, we're getting other eyes and ears there. Excited to see Bryce Dallas Howard back again, because her episodes have been very good and she does a good job. I would love to see her do a Star Wars movie. I don't know why they're not giving her one yet. Bryce, make Solo 2 happen. What are we doing? Pick up the torch from your dad and let's go.
What are we doing over here?
But I like the switching model of letting different people kind of take their shot at making a Star Wars story or Star Wars series. I wonder if it is Lucasfilm's way of like vetting directors and stuff, that they're like, let's bring all these people and let them shoot a couple episodes, and then we'll decide if we want to move forward with other stuff, which obviously doesn't ring true at all, because Sean Levy is doing a movie, but he also did Deadpool for them. So I feel like Disney's like, do whatever you want, Sean.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm excited. I'm just happy to see people that are working on a production and that it's being shot and it's in production and in post-production, because it has felt like a little bit of time after Andor ended that we're like, and I know I'm complaining and it's been like a month, but like, it feels like I've nothing to gear up for yet. We're not at that point. So
Mhm.
I'm just like kind of getting excited. I want more.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The only thing that I am not certain about is Anders Engstrom. Like, I'm looking at his, like, he did some Percy Jackson stuff, but people are saying he's most known for the TV series Taboo, which I'm not familiar with. Are you familiar with that series?
I'm not.
So I'm just curious because a lot of his stuff looks very artistic.
Mm.
I'm wondering if I could be wrong, but yeah. So Taboo's a BBC television drama series produced. Blah, 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 blah. The 8-episode series was created by Stephen Knight. Oh, okay. So maybe that was his in there. Stephen
Mm.
Knight was previously working on the Ray movie,
Also,
writing that.
they're shooting Ahsoka in England, so.
Oh, Taboo. This was the Tom Hardy series. Interesting. I don't know. Looks like he does like some dark stuff. I wonder if he's gonna do the Mortis stuff.
Or the Balins.
Yeah, which I think is gonna be Mortis. So
Mm.
very interesting. Yeah, I'm excited because I think we're gonna get some news on Ahsoka soon if they're gonna wrap filming. So, yeah, that's all I got on that. But yeah, give me more Star
Nice.
Wars. Pumped for Ahsoka to arrive next year. But now it is time for a good time. You're already having a good time, right? Listening out there? Respond. I can't hear you, but just say yes, John. I'm having a good time. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, Lacey, let's get into one of our favorite segments on this podcast.
I fear nothing,
Will
for all this, as the Force wills it.
Ridiculous. I have to say, it does, you being like, go ahead, say it right now, makes me think of every child show that I've been watching in the past month,
Yeah.
where they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, is it? What?"
Do you not think, hold on, do you not think that the whole, like, the base is open, come on in, like, I grew up on Mr. Rogers. I want it to be welcoming, like, come on in, you're here with us. Like, that's what it's all about. So
No, I
it's
know.
not
I
by,
grew up with the same thing.
yeah,
I'm just saying
it's
I'm like
not by
having
accident.
moments where I'm like, I'm an adult. I'm an adult. I can have
Yeah.
adult conversations
Yeah.
with my kids all day. But yeah, no, Mr. Rogers and I are like this. I watch a lot of Mr. Rogers lately. He's like,
Yeah.
you know what this is called? And then he waits like 40 seconds and you're like, it's a block. It's a block. And he's like, it's a block. Isn't it great? And you're like, oh, God.
It's a red block. Do you like red?
He's so lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, Will of the Force is back. There are lots of ways you can support this podcast, like John had mentioned at the top. You can follow us on social media at TRB Podcast. You can subscribe on YouTube, follow us on audio platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please leave a review if you get a chance. Let us know how we're doing. It also goes into the algorithm, which we all love that word, algorithm, but that's the way the world works. And lets new people find us. And of course, the best way is through word of mouth. So share us with a friend, family member, neighbor, coworker, etc., and let them know that we're a good time and we like talking about Star Wars. And also, we clear up all those crazy rumors that you hear at work anyway. So you might as well just pass it to us and let us handle it for you.
We got it.
But if you want to support us even more than that, you can head over to patreon.com at patreon.com/TRB podcasts. So starting at just $5 a month, you're supporting what we do here. We've been doing this for almost a decade now, which is kind of crazy. And our dreams of being podcasters and doing this full time, we still don't. We still have lives, families, day jobs, etc. And your support helps us get a little bit further into that dream and supports equipment, travel for covering events, and much, much more. But yeah, and you get to be a part of the show. And this is one of the ways you do, which is Will of the Force. So you can submit questions. And today's questions, our first one is from a Patreon submission from Mike Lovins. What up, Mike? How's it going, man? Which, by the way, quick side note, one of my favorite things about Patreon is getting to know you guys in Discord and also through segments like this and our mini episodes. And every time I see your names, I get excited. Like Mike. What up, Mike? He asks, oh, by the way, the segment's Will They, Won't They? That's why it's called Will of the Force. Will Disney ever be brave enough to say Luke had a child sometime between Return of the Jedi and The Last Jedi and make Cade Skywalker canon? John.
By how you submitted that question, Mike, I'm gonna assume that you hope they do. I don't think so. I think they are doing a slow closing of the Luke Skywalker story threads. And it was closed to a crack with The Rise of Skywalker, and then he did The Mandalorian, and now it's getting closer and closer. As Mark Hamill says, he's not going to be involved, and I think with him not being involved and us not moving on with Luke Skywalker, I don't know that Lucasfilm wants to keep something that close when they're trying to move forward and have like Rey be a loose connection to the Skywalker family, carrying on that name. So I don't think with Rey taking on Rey Skywalker that they're going to be like, but there's a better Skywalker, his blood child, and then they would probably turn that kid evil, and we'd be like, no, not another tragic Skywalker story. So I think Luke passing on without having children is what's going to go down. But let me know what you think of my answer, Mike, and I appreciate the question. I hope you're doing well, man.
Yeah, Mike, this is a tough one because I am a Star Wars fan that definitely wanted more from Luke in the sequel trilogy, more for his story that aligned with what my headcanon and love for the character was. And that's not to say that it wasn't done right or wrong. I just want to clear that up because before people go, I love what they did with Luke. That's fine. That enjoy. I'm so happy for you. That being said, I agree with you, John. I don't think Disney is brave enough to touch Luke right now in the sense of I think they're leaving that alone. I think it would be an even worse reflection on Luke's character if he had a child and didn't know. Because if he had a kid and didn't know and then went and almost killed Ben Solo and then went onto an island by himself and then sacrificed himself to die, it would be even worse for that child that he left behind, because the Luke that I know from Return of the Jedi would never leave a family member or child behind. And I think that's why I have such a tough time with The Last Jedi. So I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. What?
You're going to say this is stupid, but it's really funny in my brain right now. So you
Okay.
brought up Return of the Jedi, like that Luke would never do that. And I was thinking like they revised the line where he's like, you failed. I'm a father, like my father before me.
Oh, God. They just like morph his mouth to say it. Oh, my God. No, I just think it would be even worse, the reflection on the character. Whereas like they've now left the character at a high point that he came back and did a selfless thing. I don't think they would leave some child to just be like, Dad, hello? What happened?
They'd have to spend time with someone like teaching him who Luke was, and just like
yeah. But that being said, Mike, I do think that they time and time again have been pulling from Legends and EU that you could see Cad, however you want to say it, character show up. I don't think it'll be Luke's kid or a Skywalker per se, but they have been taking stuff from Legends that they've been like kind of cherry picking, like this character or this aspect, this detail, this event, this animal, this creature.
yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if you really like these characters that they would show up eventually somehow, either in a book or a series or what have you. But I'm sorry if that's not the answer you wanted, Mike.
Like,
I always feel bad that I feel like I have been in there before where I'm like, don't you think this is going to happen? And people are like, no. And I'm like, come on. All right. Next question is, will there be spinoffs to Andor featuring any of the surviving characters from the series, John?
I know I've seen a lot of this going on online where people saying like, we need a Clea and Vel series and stuff like that. And I remember it might have been when we were covering the last batch of episodes of Andor. I remember passionately saying I want it to end here for all those characters. I don't want to see where they go on from here, because this is their character arc climax. This what they did this moment. It doesn't get bigger than this. Like if Clea and Vel did something bigger, we would have learned about it throughout the Galactic Civil War. So I don't. So from a story perspective, I think it would feel flat. And from just a realistic perspective, we've been seeing them reel back this whole series stuff, and I don't think that they would even come close to greenlighting a series for characters that the greater fandom doesn't really know. So I like the idea because those actors are great, and there's always that desire to want to see more. But I think sometimes we need to have discipline and reservations when it comes to this stuff because you don't want to ruin the greatness of how these characters ended this sort of victory throughout Andor, and then have these other stories happen. Like I like their story for that's told to us ended there. They go on to continue to help and support the rebellion, but their best work was done that allowed this other stuff, Luke Han and Leia, to happen.
Those are some great points. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say the exact opposite as you were starting that question. I thought you were gonna like blah blah blah, but you didn't. Because you were like, initially I thought I'm like, oh, so he's gonna switch, and you didn't. Not to be lame today, guys, but I'm also gonna agree that I don't think they're gonna do any spinoffs to Andor specifically, unless it's in a book or a comic. I could see them doing that, but like if we're talking live action series, I think Disney in general is rolling back series and specifically random character series. They're taking a risk right now with Sean Levy, and they're taking the risk with a bankable actor like Ryan Gosling and a director that just killed it at the box office. Like that's the risk that Disney's taking. I don't see them taking any big risks anytime soon. Now that makes me cry inside as the group that wants to make Solo 2 happen, that like they're kind of playing it safe. I think Disney in general is playing it safe. Between settling lawsuits and doing Coco 2 and Frozen 5 and Toy Story 5. I don't think Star Wars is any different. I think it's just under a different umbrella underneath the overarching plan for Disney. So they're just not going to touch any type of like random characters that the general audience doesn't know. And that makes me sad, not just for a Star Wars fan, but in general, because I think some of the coolest stuff we've seen in the past years have been original ideas, like Severance or K-pop Demon Hunters, or these things that people are very much into and talking about online and have been getting these crazy audiences are original ideas. And I think that once again, Disney's falling back on the not taking a chance, and they're really hoping that the Ryan Gosling thing pays off.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just thinking as I was talking, but yeah, that's my thought.
I was gonna say like the double whammy with an Andor spinoff is if you would imagine they're gonna keep a similar tone if they did something like that. They would keep it like a grounded spy, like rebellion sort of espionage thing. So you don't get a lot of Star Wars, like the typical Star Wars aesthetic, but you're also not getting muscle with a popular character. Like Andor was greenlit because of how great Diego Luna was in Rogue One, which made $1 billion.
Yeah, Rogue One made a ton of money. Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, we're gonna see that story, and it's gonna go right up to Rogue One. That's amazing!" Like, for season 1 didn't have a huge viewership, but people who saw it, loved it. And then season 2 had great viewership because of the momentum. So this, like, it would be like Clea and Vel or something like that, doesn't have pull from a character perspective to the wider audience. I'm not talking about diehards. I love those characters too. Clea, one of my favorite characters of season 2.
Was my favorite from like the moment we saw her on screen.
Yeah. So it's not that. It's just you got to think, you got to zoom out and think about how general fans think. If there was characters walking around Batu and one of them was Clea, people would think that was a fan dressed up in an outfit. They wouldn't say like, "Oh, that's Luke Skywalker," or "That's Rey," or "That's." So you got to look at it from the wider perspective when it comes to this stuff. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that.
Oh, the Luke Skywalker wig in Galaxy's Edge is so rough.
Ooh. It's
so
not Mark
rough.
Hamill, it's Dorothy Hamill. Yeah.
It's so rough. All right, next is a Patreon submission coming from General Jedi, Drum Jedi, Mike Ramori. What up, Mike? How's it going, man?
Yo.
He asks, with the release of the Ahsoka directors and which episodes they are directing, and it seemingly obvious that Dave will direct the first and last episodes, Will Dave Filoni end Ahsoka's story at the end of season 2 open-ended or give her a definitive ending, John?
I still think that Filoni movie's happening, especially because he is like second in command at the studio, and I think that's where Ahsoka's going to get her ending. I think Dave's dream, ultimate dream, is to make a Star Wars movie where Ahsoka is the focal point in live action. I think that is really what he wants. They announced that 2 years ago at this point. I think that's the culmination of this. In the same way, I think Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be a culmination for the Mandalorian. Now they'll probably come back and make more Mandalorian shows because it banks, and if Favreau wants to keep doing it, I'm gonna keep taking them. But I think with Ahsoka, I think Dave Filoni holds Ahsoka the way George Lucas held Luke Skywalker, like just up on this pedestal of like, this is my character, and like I love this character more than anything. I think he wants to go to the big screen with Ahsoka to finish out her living arc, because we do hear her in episode 9, of course.
I mean, Dave Filoni lives and breathes Ahsoka. Like, that's his baby. Every time you see him sketching and like behind the scenes stuff, it's Ahsoka. Every time you talk to someone that's worked on a Star Wars project with Dave, he's always sketching Ahsoka. It's just
And
like,
she's been in every project he's done except Resistance, which he was like, he didn't write, So
right. Which we've made jokes before with The Mandalorian, where he was helping out Jon Favreau, and I feel like he was in the meeting. He's like, "So, like, what if Ahsoka showed up here?" And Jon Favreau was like, "This is episode 1, Dave. What are you talking about?" And then, like, every meeting, he was just like, "So, what if Ahsoka shows up here?"
Yeah.
Now he waited until season 2, and it was one of my favorite episodes ever. So I'm not hating at all.
Yeah.
But I do think that Dave, like you said, is very much on a mission to wrap up Ahsoka in his way so that someone else doesn't do it. I think he's trying to be like, this is my character. I'm seeing it through to the end of her story. Because like and I'm not just saying in Star Wars, but in any show, whether it be a book, movie, series, TV series, when you start something, every time I read interviews or watch behind the scenes interviews with the creators, they're always like, "Oh, I stepped away and then they kept going," or "Oh, I have to turn this down." Like, even the craziest thing is like the Bluey stuff. Like, Bluey's blown up. When the creator was like stepping away from Bluey, he wrote this big letter being like, "I am stepping away from Bluey. I can't tell the story I want to tell anymore." And it's like sad because you're like, "Oh, this person started it." But then Disney offered them a movie. And he's like, "I will stick around for the movie." So he's doing the movie, but he was going to walk away from the series. I kind of see this very similar with Dave in that he's just like, I'm seeing this through until Ahsoka gets a movie. So that is all to say, John, that I do agree with you. Not to be boring tonight, guys, but we are agreeing on stuff. Because I think he's going to do the first and last episodes of this season. And then the last episode's going to lead into that culmination movie, which I think also The Mandalorian is in. It seems like the culmination movie is the Mandoverse, Ahsoka, like Rebels continuance type stuff. Like all the TV series that we've gotten that fall within the same time period, Boba Fett, etc., are all kind of coming together for this big epic movie.
Could be. You answer first on the last one.
Okay, sure. So, which by the way, fun fact of the day, back years ago when I started this show, I used to get so worried by the time it was my turn to speak that I wouldn't have anything to say. And I'm proud to say that I am so annoying now because I always have something to say. I always think of 3 other things to say outside of just agreeing. And I'm very proud that I've had such growth and in this podcast that I always will add something. Anyway, last question is, if Baylan Skoll, with John's favorite character, dies in Ahsoka season 2, who will most likely be the character to help him meet his maker? Oof. Oof, oof. Do I think he will die? First of all, I think he is going to die. I think that's an easy way to move on from that character in a way that like they've told the story and he could move on. Plus, he's very determined to like see it through to this like bigger power. And those characters never make it out. They always get eaten up by said power.
Yeah.
Who's going to help him meet his maker? Ahsoka. Ahsoka died, came back. She's going to come back and kill him or help him along. Not. And I think Anakin's going to also maybe, or it could, okay. I'm working through this as I'm talking, guys. I think it's going to be Ahsoka, but indirectly. I think he's going to do something to almost die, and she could be the last kind of push to kill him. And Anakin's going to step in as a Force ghost and say, don't do that. You know, you're not like this. Remember what you've learned. And then she's just going to like, you know, step back, and Baylan Skoll's going to like fall off a cliff or something and die. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to die at her hand, but he'll die in his own way.
Interesting. I think he will die, and I same exact reason actually, because if well, I'll expand on why I think that is, because with Ray Stevenson dying, I think having Rory come in, because of the cliffhanger of that story, they're like, we need you to come in and close this out for him. Now, if Ray Stevenson was still alive and people were loving this character, I bet Dave Filoni would keep him around to have him in that movie. So I think his death changed this character, and I think they will close it out this season with whatever the Mortis journey is. And I think he will be killed by way of like the sun or something in Mortis.
The sun. Oh,
yeah.
I thought you meant like the sun, like the planet, the star.
No, the sun. Yeah, no. Yeah, because we know how murdery he can be. So I think it'll be something like that, where it's sort of like those movies, like, you know, Indiana Jones, when they open the Ark and all their faces melt. It's like they get this greed and this lust, like that dude in The Mummy who was like trying to get all the gold, and then the scarabs got under his skin. That guy.
Stop.
Yeah. So those types of characters, I think he's gonna get so obsessed with his lust for power that he's gonna be like, they're gonna get out, and like Ahsoka and Sabine, they're gonna like get out of there, and he's gonna like be stuck and like pulled in and like trapped in Mortis or something like that. And whether they leave it open-ended or not, but I think the character will die as an honor to Ray Stevenson. Like, we're going to finish your story for you, but we're not going to squeeze the sponge too much, because we honor him so much.
Yeah. I think we're on a similar thought process.
Too much, though. This was not like a saucy Will of the Force. It was a really insightful and good discussion, I hope, and I hope you guys liked our points.
I feel like I was saucy last week, though.
Yeah. Maybe.
I was a little too sassy. I'm trying to tone it down this week.
You can't be saucy every week.
Let's get into what you guys had to say. So this is my favorite segment. It's called Resistance Transmissions. So the way that this works, guys, is every once in a while, more likely than not, John will put up a crazy, wacky situation on Twitter or X or Blue Sky, etc., and get some answers. He'll put up something like, "Hey, this happened. What would you say to this?" And you guys say what you think. And I've never read it. I don't know what the scenario is. Situational. I don't know what you said.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
X is dying. We all know that. There was reports that came out that said like potentially 65% of all accounts on X are not even human. They're just bots, programs.
I sent you that report. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm telling our audience, we're not just on Zoom chatting like friends.
I just want the credit that Lacey sent me this, because she's very knowledgeable.
So then I got a late fee for my Easy Pass, and I tell you. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, X is dying. So we used to get tons of responses for Resistance Transmissions, and we felt bad because we had to limit it down to a certain amount. And now it's like few and far between. I think just people are off that app. So if you're looking for a spot, like Blue Sky is awesome. We have almost 2,000 followers on there. We see a lot of familiar faces over there. It's not a botville, and it's easy to use. It's very Twitter-like because I think people who were originally involved with Twitter were involved in making this. But anyway, if you're a TRB listener and you want to find a good spot for our posts for like resistance transmissions, open a free Blue Sky account. Find us, follow us, get back in the mix because I know you miss us on social media, and we miss you. That's all I had to say. Thanks,
It's
Lacey.
also exhausting.
Back to
right
you,
now on social
Lacey.
media.
Ah!
I also know it's exhausting on social media right now, so I think people are taking breaks, which I appreciate and I understand. So no worries.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to be a part of the show, usually these go up on like Wednesdays. The Wednesdays.
I tried Tuesdays. Yeah.
Yeah. So check our pages Tuesday night, and you might see it, and then you just
Tuesday.
All right. So the situation is after Qui-Gon died. Great start. Obi-Wan found his smartphone in his pocket. Who was the last person Qui-Gon texted, and what did it say? Oh no. Mike Lovins is back again. It's his episode today at
I didn't even realize.
M1125.
All right,
What up,
Mike.
Mike? He said, sent text to Dooku. The council won't let me train this badass young kid, so I'm stuck with whiny Obi-Wan. I bet Anakin would never be so whiny. Screw it. When this Naboo mission is done, maybe I will come join you. Oh my God.
Sith Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon Sith.
Next is Sean at Rude Cold. What up, Sean? He said Qui-Gon's last text was to Yoda, thanking him for the life insurance reminder, which he will get straight to sorting out on his return to Coruscant. Yo.
Oh.
Next is Rick Villanueva. What up, Rick? At Cad Bane's Bounty.
What up, buddy?
That's why I was gonna say Cad. I was gonna say Cad Skywalker earlier, and I was like, where am I getting Cad from? It's from Rick.
Cad Bane.
I've been
Cad
saying
Bane.
Cad Bane for a long time.
Mhm.
To Quinlan Voss, quote, I sense a disturbance. Delete my browser history. Oh, that's a throwback.
That is a throwback. TRB throwback.
Next is Dub Grig at dubgrig.bluesky.social. Sent text to Yaddle. You up? And then face. Like wink.
Can you do that face again with the sound? Oh, she did it. Lacey never does re-returns, so.
Yeah, so basically Dub Grig is saying that Qui-Gon's an F-boy. That he's just like,
all right, he's a force boy. That's right.
Force boy, clearly. Force boy. That's what I meant. That's totally what I'm saying. Terry's up next. Terry at Terry Mac.
Your focus determines your reality. You know what I mean?
Oh, the force does. No, it does. Terry, hi. All right. So, hey, Shmi. Annie's doing great. He doesn't suspect a thing. I'll keep our secret as long as I live.
Wow.
He is a force boy.
He's a force boy.
Man.
I think everybody sort of thought that there was something going on with Qui-Gon and Shmi.
Yeah. More 5150 at more 5150. What up, man? He said, Shmi Skywalker. It stated, I can't wait to see you later. This is all in caps. Maybe we could go to the lakes on Naboo. I hear they are, letter R, very romantic. Again, F-boy. Like, you guys.
Qui-Gon's like, there's a deleted scene in Phantom Menace. Qui-Gon's like, yeah, Anakin, a few more laps. A few more laps. About 15 minutes.
Oh, my God.
What? You called him a force boy.
I didn't call him a force boy. You called him a force boy. I said he was an F-boy.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to clean it up for our all ages audience.
Friendly force boy. The friendliest. All right. Last but not least is Brendan at Qui-Gon Bren. Ooh,
credits will do fine.
All right. Qui-Gon politely asked Count Dooku to quit sending him holobook links to inflammatory articles about the corruption of the Republic.
That was great. That was a good round.
This was a good round. By the way, that's my favorite emoji. If anybody ever wanted to know.
So what is it? Right eye closed, left eye wide open, and
I love that one. That's my favorite emoji. I love
don't
it.
know if I
That one
have
in
a
the melt
favorite one.
face. The one that's like, oh,
I
because it just
like.
describes me. It's either I'm or
Oh
I'm
yeah,
oh.
I like the one that's like this. Like,
You like the
like
emoji? You never use that
yeah.
emoji.
Oh well, I do with friends and family. Like when I think
Oh,
like when
I guess we're not friends.
you and I don't send each other emojis ever. That's the thing. It's
Like, I use it with my friends.
no, I
I
didn't
guess
mean like
I'll
that. You
leave
know what I
now.
meant. You know what I meant. It's the one that goes. I feel like I'm sensing bullshit. That's like, is that?
You just
You know?
said family friendly podcast.
What did I say? Did I? Oh. Sorry. It's like. I feel like my face is melting now.
All right, guys. Back to you, John. Thank you for your answers. Appreciate it.
That was a great round. That was a fun round.
It was.
So, Lacey, did it live up to the standards of the legacy of resistance transmissions?
I think so. Although
Yeah.
I think I've learned that Qui-Gon's very promiscuous.
Yeah. This was, and then, yeah, with the Yaddle and, jeez,
He's getting around.
Qui-Gon is getting around. And then by the time they wake up in the morning, he's Qui-Gon.
So he really is a Force boy then.
He's a Force boy. Qui-Gon Jinn. Should we title the episode that instead of what we had? Qui-Gon Jinn is a Force boy.
Do the letter F with parentheses. Force boy.
Oh, no. All right. Yeah, we gotta. And the browser history, that is so old school. Like that's, I forget who said that. It was like Genghis Dingus or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That like cracked us up. There's got to be a clip of that somewhere. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening and watching and having fun with us here on TRB. It's always a good time to escape into the resistance base, no matter what you got going on, what's going on in the world. We're here with you every week. You can count on us to talk Star Wars. And hopefully by the end of it, you're smiling, laughing, having a good time, while also getting into some good discussions with us about our favorite movie franchise. So thank you all so much, however you take in the episode. We have to give a special shout out to the generals and spice runners on the Patreon, holding it down like the bosses they are. Thank you all so much. Carmelo, John Reese, Jetta Rosewater, Frank Grande, Chris Morales, Mike Ramori, Brendan McLaughlin, Sneaky Zebra, Dave Hornack, Colin Cormier, Stephen Garrow, and Darth Snips. And the Spice Runners, David Probus, Neil Shaw, Kendall Gellner, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, DeFort Worthian, and Brian Smith. 2-0 for Vader's Raiders, my fantasy football team in the TRB Fantasy Football League. Lacey, who's in first place right now?
Is it you?
It's me.
What happened last week? Something happened where it was like one player did really bad and it just threw off my whole game.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ugh.
I still think you have a solid team though, so hopefully we both
so much. Oh, I just think you're a solid team. Such a jerk. You're doing okay, Lacey. You're doing really good. You're just like really good.
No, you are.
You're good. Just keep going. Just keep doing your thing.
Do your thing. I love that for you. Everyone says that phrase now. I love that for you.
Oh gosh.
Anyway.
If I have to see bingo card again, guys. I hate that phrase so much.
Bingo card. Yeah, follow us TRB podcast everywhere. Nerdy and Nice, of course, Nerdy and Nice Pod on social media as well. And yeah, we have some new merch coming soon. Lacey and I have been putting off, because of life is crazy, meeting to go over our plans, but we have designs. We have new merch coming at trbpodcast.com. So be sure to keep an eye out for it. We'll obviously post that stuff all over social media, but excited about some of the new stuff that we have coming as fall kicks off. Because now I feel like everyone like summer's over, so people like dialing back in a bit. So
gotta get
me a
some
little
sweatshirts
excited.
going.
Yes, we got to get some hoodies going for sure. Lacey, where can people hit you up to talk about all the stuff we talked about today?
People can send me all the bleh emojis at Lacey Gillerin and at It's Lacey Gillerin on TikTok.
Yeah, and me.
Also,
Yes,
the podcast I've been working on launched. Edgecast.
Oh,
Check it out. It's
all
on
right.
Spotify.
Are you on it?
So I'm at the end. I do some plugs for them at the end. I will be on future episodes to talk about some like horror-esque stuff, which is interesting because as you guys know, that's not my thing. But I guess I'm coming in as the newbie sometimes.
See, they're slowly taking her away from us, guys. So
No,
whatever you
they're
have to do,
not. No, they're
sabotage this
not.
podcast
But
into
if
the
you
ground.
like horror movies and you like indie film stuff, because they talk about what they shooting their own projects and behind the scenes stuff, it's super interesting about hearing about like the business side of things. Check it out. Also, just leave in the comments like Lacey sent me here. She's awesome because it makes me sound
Very
good.
cool. Very cool. I'll have to give it a listen because I do like some horror. I like more of the
They're
slasher
really
realistic
smart
stuff.
guys. They know a
I
lot
don't
of stuff.
I don't like the like supernatural stuff as much. But anyway,
They like
'cause,
everything.
like the possession stuff, I get out of here. I don't want it.
They talk a lot about like slashers,
Oh, I love that stuff. That stuff's great.
Gremlins,
I grew up on
Nightmare
that
on
stuff.
Elm Street,
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Freddy's still terrifying. All right, for me, Johnny Hoey on Blue Sky's the main spot. Twitter as well, but I'm sort of just burning it down at this point. And then obviously TRB podcasts. Hit us up on social media on your preferred platform, including Facebook, if you can follow us there. And my movie podcast, just like the movies. Next week we're going to be doing First Blood, the original Rambo movie. A little Sly Stallone coming at you. All right, that is it for us. We'll be back with you next week as always. And for Nerdy Nice, don't forget, subscribe there, follow there. That's on its own feed, and that comes out on Monday. Both live on our YouTube channel. A lot of you probably know that by now, but anyway, that's it for us. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you're doing well. We hope you have a great upcoming weekend, and we'll see you next time right here on TRB. See you around, kids.